Hi, thanks for tuning in to my official YouTube channel, Reverend MeeLing, also known as Reverend Susan MeeLing, Lady MeeLing, Lady Dori, Belle. Been known by a few names. Sorry, just having some fun. Anyway, so I got my second biggest Medal of Honor art project piece in the back that I'm gonna take where I need to take it to. And so after having gone to, Corpus Christi, and there is the earlier video that I uploaded in reference to just, I was realistically walking. I wasn't swimming on my way out to the Lexington. I mean, swimming requires you to go horizontal, not stay vertical, right? Yes. Swimming means horizontal, not vertical. I was vertical, walking across where I was. And so I don't know how deep the actual water area is over there, but I know it was high tide. I do know that because of how close the water was to the sidewalk. So I know it was high tide. And I was just walking over to the Lexington. Now I don't know. I mean, I don't think there are many people who can do that. I could be wrong. Just walking over to the Lexington in the ocean. Not having a problem with the current or anything like that. I mean, unless there's other people who can do that, right? So, I mean, how difficult? I don't know. I didn't find it difficult in the slightest. And that was my first attempt doing so. Thus, it couldn't be that difficult, right? To just walk, not swim, but walk over from the shoreline to the USS or USNS Lexington, to stand next to it, so that way, there's that ability to see the height difference between me, 5'4" me, next to however tall the Lexington is, which I don't think the Lexington is a Nimitz class ship. I think that it's a little bit shorter than the Nimitz class ship of the Vandenberg that I was scuba diving at. I mean, I've told people, I was joking, but, there is truth to every joke. Because who would believe me about mermaid stuff, right? Right? How many people have I spoke with about mermaid stuff over the years? Quite a few. Ever since I was a child. Well before that Little Mermaid movie came out. I actually got made fun of when I was a child because I tried telling people that all mer people are not nearly as friendly as Ariel from The Little Mermaid. And realistically, most mer people, especially if you upset them, are far more closer to Ursula and her character in The Little Mermaid than any mermaid being closer to Ariel. There are very few Little Mermaid type stuff that you could actually refer to as being accurate in so many ways. And so, I mean, as long as you don't anger them, you have nothing to worry about. As long as you don't infuriate a mer person, you have absolutely nothing to worry about, right? answer is yes. Absolutely nothing to worry about. As long as you don't infuriate a mer person. So, I was just walking against the current of the ocean in the Gulf of Mexico area where Corpus Christi is during high tide to get closer to the Lexington, to stand near it so that way that distance could be seen. And I understand now why I was not seen by my assigned scuba dive buddy when he was scuba diving closer to 60 feet compared to however atmospheric measurements I was at. And so, you know, just saying, I landed at the bottom of the ocean there. Which would be why I can do what I do. So, you know, I did go and swim out to the equivalent of the distance for the jet skis, the orange and green balls, which is about the distance. It's a little bit shorter, realistically, to the distance for the buoys along the New Jersey shore coastline that I used to swim out to as a child when going to Point Pleasant Beach. And different colors, of course, because those are just for the jet skis. Those are not the buoy line with the netting that's out off of the East Coast, at least where I was growing up. And so, you know, is that a big deal? I don't know, because kind of like landing where I did at the bottom of the Matthias Abyss area and finding those two scuba divers along with those multiple different ships, as well as going up and then photographing the Vandenberg. Nobody told me it was a big deal. I got called a liar. That was infuriating. I was told I didn't know what I was talking about, even though I showed pictures that I took. And I can't tell a lie, which is aggravating, to be called a liar when I cannot tell a lie. It's not insulting me, realistically. It's insulting who anybody would be dumb enough to call me a liar. Knowing about my head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000, that just, in my opinion, shows their own lack and ignorance. I could be wrong. However, I am not the only person who had a head injury. I may be the only person who had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000, but I'm not the only person who's had a head injury. I'm not the only person who's had a subarachnoid hemorrhage in the frontal lobe of my brain. I'm not the only person who has been in a coma. I'm not the only person who has memory deficits and cognitive disorders from my head injury, or a head injury. And I'm not the only person who went from college algebra with trigonometry and calculus to second grade math because of a head injury. My particular combination for my particular head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000 is quite different and unique. No denying that. However, I cannot tell a lie. Despite how many people have tried to essentially convince themselves that what they thought in comparison to what I know, along with other medical professionals that are actual medical professionals and not a bunch of individuals who thought that they could read something and then that automatically made them a doctor, which that's not how that goes at all. So just saying. So yeah, you know, I was just using my mermaid fins in different ways, as a joke could be said, to just get me to be a little bit taller. So that way I could just walk while in the ocean. Not just out to where the Lexington is, but also out to where the floating buoys are for where the jet skis are supposed to slow down. That's all. No big deal, right? I mean, how deep is that area to make my legs go a little bit longer? I mean, again, just joking in reference to my mermaid fins. That's all. I mean, I just was wearing my bathing suit, and that was it. I didn't have any scuba fins on my feet. Just, you know, little mermaid stuff. That's all. You know, just joking around. And so, you know, I just walked out to where the Vandenberg, or I'm sorry, not the Vandenberg, the Lexington is, to have the height distance from standing at where I was in the Gulf of Mexico area of the ocean, next to the Lexington, for that height difference. I did notice that there was quite a bit of trash in the ocean, in the Gulf of Mexico. There was quite a bit of plastic that had been washing up. Don't know where that came from. And the water, ironically, is very similar to the color of the pastel painting that I had done when I had earned my way to be able to meet Governor Christine Todd Whitman. And some of the plastic stuff that I had put into that picture, ironically, was stuff I saw in the Gulf of Mexico area of the ocean when I was just walking in the ocean. So, how deep is that area? I don't know. But I was still walking. I mean, I did do some swimming later, but I had to, you know, change the shape of my mermaid stuff as a joke. That's all. And so I'm on my way back to San Antonio area in the state of Texas to go and take care of my second biggest piece for my Medal of Honor art project. Oh look, I'm passing by McCoy Palm. So what's the big deal, right? I mean, what's the depth of that area during high tide to be able to walk out past where the Lexington is sitting on the other side of the Lexington to see the netting along the other side to where the little green and orange floater bobber thingamabobs are, that the jet skis have to slow down before coming into shoreline. How deep is that? To keep my toes. Still walking. Anyway, you guys have a good one. Comment, like, share, subscribe to my official YouTube channel. I do prefer actual comments and not the little bot type of thing. Because if I wanted to speak to a robot, well, I'd speak to a robot instead of preferring to speak with human beings. I can't be the only person who prefers to speak with human beings. But maybe I am.